And we are live. And we are live. Hello, everyone. Allison here. There's a lag in time. We are live. Hello, everyone. Allison here. Okay, let's get rid of that echo so we can get right to it. I hope everybody's doing well. And I do believe it is morning for most of you. I am actually over in the United States, so it is evening time here where I am at. And I'm really excited to be here today. So I hope you guys have enjoyed reading the audio version of our book and also have purchased the paper copy of our book. Our stories are pretty powerful. And I honestly have not finished it completely, but I'm excited to go through the rest of everybody's. So I'm really excited today because we're really going to dive into what you can do to really initiate the next phase for you and get out of that area where you feel like maybe something is still missing, or I know there's this one thing that I need to do, but I just haven't done it. I haven't had the courage to pull the strings yet. So let me just give you a little synopsis on who I am. I'm a creative muse and intuitive guide that activates creatives and entrepreneurs to really access wealth with the least amount of effort and complexity. So my work in the world is very foundational because you're shifting from one way of living your life and moving into a completely different way of living, which is from abundance and beyond duality. Majority of the time, of course, we are living in a human experience, so you will still experience duality. That's where passion is generated, and that's where passion comes from, which was a key aspect that I'll touch on with the Fully Exposed brand that I have created. So with that, I have to say it was really fun having my chapter kicking off all of our amazing stories in the Warriors of Light book. And in my chapter, I share my story of initiation that started my spiritual awakening. And I didn't know it at the time, but in hindsight, looking back, is when I realized that I actually was the one who initiated this upheaval in my life that led me to something beyond what I ever could have imagined possible, and allowed for infinite possibilities. But my intention for our time together, live or on the replay here, is to provide a new perspective and activate any dormant energies within your field that will initiate you to bust a move or make a new decision and actually act and implement that into your life, business, or your relationships. And you would be surprised, a lot of the times it isn't necessarily a physical action that is needed. Rather, it is an energetic move that needs to happen. So that may not look like actually going and doing something in your physical reality, but really you need to walk away energetically from what it is that you are enmeshed with and attached with energetically in the physical. So we can go more into that as well. Over the past 7 years, I've really been refining my Divas methodology in my own life and with my clients. And I received it from Spirit shortly after I was given the Fully Exposed brand name to bring into the world. So at Fully Exposed, we stand for simplicity, substance, and style. And we value powerful individuality, passionate partnerships, and synergistic hierarchy. So that is the core of everything that we do. And we are a spiritually based revolutionary lifestyle brand that pushes the envelope of human performance and disrupts the programming that has kept humanity from experiencing true freedom. And most entrepreneurs and business people tend to have the perspective that they think that business is going to provide them freedom, when actually freedom is an internal game. Freedom is access from within you. And being an entrepreneur provides the gift of flexibility and bringing flexibility into your life. And with society's structures that we've had that are very egoically driven, they're very masculine, and that clearly doesn't work for women. since it is a masculine-based societal structure. And so my point and where I was going with that is no matter where you are or your position, you have been provided with the opportunity to contribute to the collective at this time. And the contribution starts with you. It starts with us individually at the micro level, and then it goes to the macro level. So in our personal environments, like connection within the walls of our own homes and around our kitchen tables is where it starts. So I know it can be easy looking out to think that, well, what impact could I really have on the world? You know what I mean? But it really adds up. And if we don't lose focus and we stick with the micro, we will have a massive ripple effect, and change will happen faster than if people are just, still living and coasting on autopilot and staying within their comfort zones and living their life to comfort their ego instead of actually shepherding the ego into its rightful place of submission, which it was actually created for. And that is where our inner authority steps in. So creating opportunity exactly where you are and initiating your next step starts with accepting and appreciating where you are exactly right now in this moment. No matter how shitty it feels, taking a step back and finding at least one thing you can appreciate, and then really choosing to take that personal responsibility which moves you into the state of empowerment to then implement that new decision. So actually saying, I'm going to choose and do something different than what I normally do. And that is your initiation. It will start a momentum in the collapse of things that are not built on honesty, on truth, and the sand that we have built our lives on. And it really takes us coming face to face with the human in the mirror and being honest, but not only being honest, but being loving about it, not beating ourselves up from ego about where we are. Everything that has brought you to where you are right now has served you. It has served you massively. And that's something I'm very passionate about. So today I'm actually going to touch on the A pillar of the Divas method, which stands for authority. And it aligns perfectly with becoming a warrior of light. As women, moving into leadership is necessary that we no longer build businesses in masculine energy, because that's how we get burned out. That's how we think, oh, this isn't going to work. So we try a different industry, or we try a different system, or things like that. We do need the masculine structures to support us in our creative flow so we can honor our intuition and our inner authority unapologetically and without being interrupted. Like with the masculine structures, the intuition doesn't have any place in the egoic masculine structures that the current businesses are created from and built from. So with that, two key components when it comes to reconnecting to your inner authority are the refinement of the boundary that you are is the first one. And then of course, allowing the dance. Now, what do I mean by these? So the refinement of the boundary that you are, a lot of times in the personal development industry, a lot of people have the perception and the lens that boundaries are something that you place to protect yourself from external things. And the way that I teach, that is not what boundaries are. That is somebody who is in their ego and they are very rigid. There is a difference. So refinement of the boundary that you are, your field, your energy field, and your body, you literally are the boundary. So what really matters is, what is the quality? The question to ask is, what is the quality of my boundary? What's the quality of my field? Is it leaky? Do I have my attention in a million different places all the time? Am I enmeshed and hooked into other people's energy fields? Am I siphoning energy? Am I codependent and siphoning energy from other people? It's the weak boundary of our field that has us overcompensating, overfunctioning, or sacrificing ourselves. And you'll hear a lot of people, like I said, in that personal development industry, speak about setting boundaries when you actually are the boundary. So I think that differentiation is very important, because warriors have boundaries. They are the boundary. And so that's the first step, is really refining the energy, the quality of your field, and really honoring and staying anchored within your own field instead of hooking into other people's energy fields and dancing into codependency and getting enmeshed. And before you know it, you've lost yourself and you don't know who you are or why you don't have a purpose, or it just throws you off course and off path, if that's even such a thing, because it's there to teach you as well, to course correct. So I personally don't believe that there's any wrong way, because when we fall and allow ourselves to fall in the lower end of the light spectrum of that duality, that's where we really create our own imprisonment from. So one thing I really like to make known is that expectations are of the mind and standards are of the heart. So your field, your boundary, is not about protecting yourself. It is about an honor and a respect that has been missing deeply in humanity. We really need to reel it back into the respect and the honor within our own individual fields, so then we can really give a higher quality. Our giving becomes a higher quality the more that we become receptive to the higher masculine energy. So it's understanding that we're moving into being anchored in our own energy fields and living cyclically and vertically first before we're living linearly and horizontally. And if you have any questions, guys, feel free to put any questions in the comments. I honestly can't see them since I connected my Zoom to the group, but I will be more than happy to go back, answer any questions, see if I can expand on anything once this live is wrapped up. So with that, back to the honor and respect. It's really moving from egoic business to heart-centered business. You become the authority of your field. You are owning your part in the partnership and the co-creation with the divine masculine. A lot of people call it different things. I prefer to refer to it as God or master, because I am a firm believer the S in Diva's method is submission. Submission is where you have wholeheartedly given that power exchange where God becomes the leader of your experience and you are here to carry out that mission. So that's how I refer to that. So when you nurture the self-responsibility that it takes to be in your authority and taking care of your own field and your body, and not only will you be empowered beyond belief, but it cultivates this strength within you that is absolutely, it will blow your mind, the amount of strength that you have and what you will be able to move through when you're not identified with the human experience. Sorry, guys, throat chakra is screaming at me. This also brings me to the point of pedestals. It can be challenging sometimes to not look up to other people and admire them. Admiring them is one thing, but we fall into a type of imprisonment when we have the lens of putting other people on a pedestal and then also putting ourselves on a pedestal within. We are all sitting at the exact same table. Sorry, guys. Wow. I was not expecting this. But anyway, back to the refinement of the boundary. So what this will have you doing is sitting down and looking at your life, cleaning up your energy, cleaning up your field, cleaning up that boundary that your field is, and you will have to make some decisions in your life. Sorry, guys. But you will have to really start making decisions in your life to get the ball rolling, or what is truly divinely meant for you will not be able to see you. You will not be able to connect with it because you are keeping yourself entangled and enmeshed with things that are no longer serving you and where you're headed. And I shared a few stories where I had to make some very tough relationship decisions. in my chapter. And the one that I didn't include was the one that I had to make with family members. They're not going to be comfortable. It can look like you were selfish, inconsiderate, but you are in codependent connections. Therefore, their ego is going to throw a fit when you choose to anchor into your own field. And you have to understand that it's not personal. It's not about you. And so when I had to make specific family decisions, I honored it. I obeyed. I'm very obedient. I'm in submission to the master, to my father, to Father God, however you want to put it. And I trust that if those connections are ever to be repaired, that it will. But I had to stick with what I was being called to do. And I knew it was the right thing. I knew it was the right thing to do. And you will know it's the right thing to do when you allow yourself to open enough to connect with the divine and allow yourself to have that healthy partnership, that co-creational partnership. And this leads me to the second one, which is allowing the dance. I love this metaphor. I think it's the most perfect metaphor. So when you're dancing with somebody or learning how to dance and do the steps, whether you've been with them for a year, 6 months, or you've been married to them for 30 years, when you decide to choose yourself and shift the energy of the patterns that you have been in creating with another individual, as the feminine who leads energetically, it's our responsibility in an honor to the masculine to be still. As we are refining our boundary, being still in the moment and allowing him to choose what he wants to do. And a lot of times when connections are built on sand, they're trauma bonded. They connected over wounds. And it was more of a victim, villain, savior kind of a thing. A lot of them don't make it because both people have to choose to want to shift into a new season together. But you can make these moves in refining your boundary and cleaning up your life with strength and being anchored and knowing that it's this or something better. This is either going to transform into something that's going to blow my fucking mind, or somebody else better is going to come in to co-create with me and be a true partnership in this new level in the game that I'm in. And it'll blow my fucking mind. And the only way we can allow magic to happen is if we shepherd our ego into submission, into the calling that gets placed on our heart, and to step in and honor and respect the field that we are and the boundary. I touched a little bit on the egoic structures of business and how it's been done and how that doesn't serve the feminine. The feminine burns out, like I had mentioned before. But where people connect with passion, the passion is driven from the heart-centeredness and really stepping in and owning the love that you are. And by you owning the love that you are and allowing it to actually move you through your life instead of being goal focused, outcome focused, you will create a discernment where you will really be able to dial in and tell when somebody is agenda focused. They're always focused on the outcome, the agenda. What is the end game? When it's really about pure giving, so you're not giving to get kind of a thing. And that really requires, like I said, honoring your feminine and being able to anchor in your field through your partnership with the divine masculine. So at the end of the day, you must have direction, confidence, supportive environment. Your environment is the people, your home, everything around you is your environment. So making sure that you have this supportive environment that specifically will nurture you in your unique field and creations that will allow you to be fully exposed in your gifts in your zone of genius to make your greatest impact within the massive awakening. And the thing is, people say, well, I want to make an impact. You are always making an impact. Whether you know it or not, you are making an impact. The question is, what's the quality of your impact? What do you want the quality of your impact to be? And really getting clear on those questions. And then aligning your life with what it is your heart actually desires that you haven't been willing to acknowledge and truly honor, and making those bold ass moves that most people won't make. Most people are not willing to make the hard decisions because they've lived so long in nurturing their ego first instead of spirit. And when you flip the roles and you start nurturing spirit and being fulfilled and enjoying your life, the ego will be in submission to spirit. It's a completely night and day difference. So it's time to partner with courage and lovingly, honestly come face to face with the human in the mirror. And it's a continual thing. And that's another thing with passion. You fall in love with the process. You already know that what you want is done. It's already given. It's already in your field. It's already in your awareness. And if it's already in your awareness, that means it's already yours. You just have to allow it in. You have to open up enough to receive it and allow yourself to be moved from your heart-centered leadership. And it's all yours. It's magnetism, no burnout. We're moving to a time where people are going to start prioritizing the true freedom that is only created within. And you get to play and bask in the tangible material things that come to you that people label as success. And I encourage you to challenge the definitions and the meanings that your ego has created about success, leadership, being powerful, partnerships, and see if they're still true for you, or do you want to redefine them? So it is safe to be bold, as I have, embracing your powerful individuality. It will not only afford you the passionate partnerships, but it will anchor in the synergistic hierarchy on a collective level that results in the global change. So I will put a link in the description once I am done streaming this. I have decided to open up one-on-one text and voice messaging for 4 weeks or 8-week options, as well as my signature reconnection sessions. So I have opened them up specifically for this event, and it's great. I can't wait to connect with you guys. So I'm going to hop in the comments and see if there's any questions or if you want any elaboration on anything. But we create opportunity through moment to moment. And this will be one of them for you. And here's the thing, the future is now. The future is always now. What you decide in every moment creates tomorrow. The future's now. It's always now. It's always been now. It's always been you. You've got everything it takes. You've got everything it takes. All right, guys, that is all I have for you. I'm glad I got to connect with you. This is the first time I've streamed in a Facebook group, so hopefully it ended up working out okay. But bye. I will talk to you in the comments.